now we have Sera. This is her icebreaker speech, and do you think you can get set up, or do you want me to just pass?
We'll go and alternate and pass.
Okay. All right. Well, you can come on up, and I will pass around what I have. She was going to use the LCD, but her where she has her stuff stored won't come up. So I was trying to be proactive, help her again.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. How's everybody doing?
Good.
It's just after lunch, so I have a tough crowd. I know that. All right. Thank you, Val, so much for just making this happen. I do apologize. I thought my hotspot would work and I would get internet up, but unfortunately it's not. We have a pretty high security at United Way where I can't pull anything up without logging in. So, in order to make that happen, I do have my mini computer that I have my slides pull up, so I'll go ahead and pass it around. I trust you won't look at my funny pictures or anything crazy. And it even has a kickstand, my evolution here. So I wanted to make sure you did get to see some nice pictures. So Val, you get the first one. It's only about like 4 or 5 slides, so it's not that much. So thank you so much for having me here today. And this is my first icebreaker speech. So bear with me. So Sera Koulabdara, that's my name. Sera is short for seraphim. It means 6-winged angel. If anyone ever Googles that, that's what my parents were hoping for. And they got me. So, the first slide, you'll see that I was born and raised for the majority of my life in Laos. So very, very tiny country in Southeast Asia, about 6.5 million people. It's termed, like in that region, it's called Lands of the Giants, and you'll see why later on. But the majority of the folks are about my height and weight, so mini giants, okay? So I have 2 brothers, one older and one younger, and a sister. So she's my only sister, and she reminds me all the time. Okay. So I'm a middle child, so you can kind of see where that goes. I was born in February, so it's in the winter. But the ironic thing is, Laos has no winter, so it's kind of funny because when my parents brought me to the U.S., we first came in 1990. There was a lot of snow, and I thought the sky was falling. But it's my favorite season. I love snow. I want it to be cold all the time, so, don't hate me, don't hold it against me. So one of the most interesting things is, with all my other siblings, I was the only one that was raised by my grandparents for the first 2 years of my life. So after 2 months of giving birth to me, my mom and my dad at the time, he's retired now, he was a surgeon. But he decided to, instead of taking a big job in Vientiane, which is the capital of Laos, he actually got offered to be in one of the biggest hospitals there. He turned it down in order to do some work because my dad grew up in a time where there was the Vietnam War, the Khmer Rouge. So a lot of really bad things happen, and there's a lot of bombs in certain areas where kids are still getting burned. And my father wanted to dedicate his life to that. So my mom, being who she is, she decided to go and travel with him to keep him sane. So my grandparents got the luxury of raising me. During my stay with them, you can kind of go to the next slide. This is kind of where I grew up. So my grandma was a silk trader, so she traveled a lot. So she took me to all sorts of places, and her passion is she wants all the grandkids to know everything there is to know about our culture and our history. So she taught me a lot of that, and that's sort of like my favorite subject. The top portion, you'll see it's all rainforest. It's one of the most famous ones in Laos. It's called the Kwangsi waterfalls. So Grandma took me there a lot. Funny thing is, I never did learn to swim, but I liked it. Whatever, right? And up here, this is why Laos is called the Lands of the Giant. This is called the Plain of Jars. It's one of the most mystical, one of the most amazing places you'll ever see. Like, if you ever go there, there's a lot of theories, a lot of things involved with it. But how many people watch History Channel at all? Yeah? Okay. Anybody a fan of Ancient Aliens?
Oh,
Yeah, I am. Yes, they exist. Okay. I think that this, in mythology, we believe that Laos was found by a whole bunch of giants that were banished from the heavens and came down. And this was like their drinking jars. So it's kind of big. So that's what a lot of people will say. And under it, right under it, it's like a mound. It looks like a mountain. It's called Wat Pu, which translates into the mountain temple. So during like the 1100s, Laos was very, very much involved with our neighbor. So being a landlocked country, you have to have a lot of allies. Otherwise, everyone will invade you. But Laos was very, very heavily involved with the Khmer Kingdom. During that time, Angkor Wat was at its height. So you could see the similarity if you compare Wat Pu to Angkor Wat. It's almost basically the same architect. So under it, Laos's most proud statue or landmark, if you will. I had a day version and a night version because it's very, very beautiful. It's called the Tat Luang. In ancient history, the monks there are able to trace it back all the way to the birth of Buddha, where there is relics in there that's hidden underneath. So it's considered one of the most ancient, sacred Buddhist relics ever. It has bones of the Buddha himself. So it's, at least the locals believe that. I haven't seen it, but it's also one of those things where, as a lady, I should not be handling the Buddha, like the statue. So I can't even pass it to the monks. I have to let my father or my brother do it. So I've never had the luxury of seeing it, but I hear it's very enchanting. So this brings us to, according to my Toastmaster book, my interests. So I have many, as you can see here. You could probably already guess that one of my biggest thing is I like traveling, so I love languages. I think that that's what connects us as humans, is we're able to communicate to each other, whether it's sign language or anything like that. I speak 4 1/2, so working on it. My half is French. And that's also my favorite place to visit. This right here is one of the ancient chapels in Clermont, France. So my father used to take me there when I was little, and I actually have a godfather that's in Paris. And we always travel every summer to at least like 1 week to look at it. And down here is macaroons. So has anybody ever had macaroons? No? Okay, you gotta go try it. There's one downtown, right? They could not have put it in a perfect spot. It's like about 1 block away from my office, and I go there literally every day. It's awesome. It's a nice French pastry. It's crunchy and chewy at the same time. It's really good. And La Doury is the most famous French bakery, I think, for macaroons. If you ever go to Paris in the airport, they would sell it. It's ridiculous. Like 1 piece is about $3.50. So for the sake of time, you can kind of see all the rest of my interests. But my favorite, since I love mystery, I have to put NCSI in there. I'm addicted. I can sit there and watch it for hours. So. With that, to sum it up, ambition. One of the biggest thing is I love working and I'm passionate about my job. I know Richard knows that I work at United Way as a relationship manager. This year, I'm leading our new business initiative. So essentially, I'm a fundraiser. I like to go ask people for money. So you can guess I'm not the favorite person to a lot of people, but that's all right. Aside from work, I want to make the 40 under 40 list before I'm 40, of course. So I have a little bit of way to go. Bulgaria and Romania, 2 of the countries that I've never been to, but I really want to go. Bulgaria, because my boyfriend is Bulgarian, and he would hurt me if I didn't put that first over Romania, although Romania is my favorite. This is Poenari Castle. Unlike the majority of Americans believe that Dracula was, his castle was in Bran Castle, which is this one right here. He actually lived in this one, Poenari. And that's where I would like to go because I don't know why, I have this obsession with him. He's amazing, even though he killed a lot of people. And to visit 35 states in 5 years. I already completed 12 states. By visit, I don't mean drive past. I actually have to walk around and do stuff. And I'm writing a book, you guessed it, it's about Dracula.
Oh.
To complete 50% of it in 5 years, even though I started it when I was 16. So it's been 10 years now. Not done. So thank you so much for your attention, and hopefully I didn't go over time. So if you have any questions, I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you soon.